What is up, everyone? Welcome to Townsend 505. Welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a lovely subscriber. Today, me, Jason, and Scott will be going through Jim Croce. We did the first album with Briar, Scott, and Jason, but Briar has decided to uh, take himself out the series. So it's just gonna be us, and then there were three, and we're gonna be going through Jim Croce's second album, Life and Times. Uh, I would show you my vinyl record, but I didn't feel like looking for it. But of the three Jim Croce albums, I do own this album.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to own the first album. Um, not, don't mess around with Jim. Uh, Even the third album, I got a name. That's another really good album. But um, guys, what are your brief thoughts on this album before we start reviewing it?
I mean, I love Jim Croce's his singing, his folk style is great. What I really love is the two guitars. It's him and the other guy named Murray Mausen or something like that. The two acoustic guitars at the same time is so good, and what really I think makes him, I don't know, differentiates him maybe from some of the other folk singers, because there's some incredible guitar playing, acoustic guitar playing on this album, as all albums for Jim Croce. And um, yeah, you can't go wrong with any of the Jim Croce albums for me.
I like this album. I liked the first album quite a bit, and he does pretty good at delivering kind of more of the same with this album, which I think is the album's biggest strength and biggest weakness at the same time. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect after listening to the debut, which is great, but at the same time, like it's exactly what you'd expect from the debut. So if you're wanting to have like another, you don't mess around with Jim, he gives that, but it's funny because there's not a lot to differentiate it from the debut. It's weird that I think that's a good and a bad thing at the same time. I still really did like this album, but I didn't like it as much as the first one.
You're gonna be disappointed because the third album's very much like that as well. I'd say the three albums he released are very the way I look at it as Don't Mess Around with Jim Volume One, Don't Mess Around with Jim Volume Two, and Don't Mess Around Jim Volume Three. That's how I look at these three albums. That's why I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite singer songwriters, mainly for the fact that all three of his albums are very samey. And I will say his albums do get weaker and weaker. I wouldn't say they get bad, but obviously his first album is the best. I think we could all agree on that. This second album, I think it's really good, but I don't think it's as strong. And then the third album, I'd say the same for this album. Like it's not as good as this album. So I get a little bit of regression as these albums go on because they really do sound very samey.
Mhm.
My thoughts on this album, though, my brief thoughts is I think this is a really good album. Fun fact: this is my first Jim Croce album I've ever heard because I bought this album because the very first Jim Croce song I've ever heard was "Bad Boy Leroy Brown," which we will talk about that song. And I really liked the song, and I saw this at the record store. I'm like, hey, I want to buy the record that this song is from, and well, we'll see how I feel about it, but I'll tell you this: I liked the album the first time, and I enjoy the album now. And I remember Jason brought the first album up. He's like, yeah, the first album, Don't Mess Around, Jim. That's like a really great album. Scott brought it up. I'm like, like they keep talking about the first album. I own the second
Yeah.
album. I should check out the first album, and I will admit I do prefer the first album over the second album, and I do plan on owning the first album, but I think it's cool that I've heard this album, so I don't really have much of a bias towards the first album. It's more, it's cool though. But anyways, let's start reviewing the thing track by track. So we open the album out with One Less Set of Footsteps. What do we think of that this song, guys?
I thought this was a really good opener to the album. Um, Again, the guitar playing is so good. Like like I said, the two guitars playing at one strumming, one playing all these really good guitar licks. Oh man, it's so good. I think it's probably some of the best part of the song, and it's a nice, catchy song. It's not as slow as ballad as some of the other songs on the album, but it's not as fast paced as some of the other ones. Um, but I do love just that idea of like, he's leaving this person and he's saying there's gonna be one less footsteps on your door in the morning or something like that. I do love the whole idea of the song. Uh, Great songwriting as a lot of this stuff is anyway. So yeah, it's a really good song.
This was one of the highlights of the album for me. I really enjoyed it, like Jason was talking about. I love how they have the two guitars. One is just kind of finger picking the chords, and the other one does these licks on top of it. That kind of continues throughout the whole album, and I really like that vibe that this album has. And I loved the storytelling with this story about how he's getting out of a bad relationship and just saying, "Hey, now that I'm leaving, there'll be one less set of footsteps on your floor, one less pair of clothes hanging up in the hall or whatever."
Yeah.
I enjoyed the lyrics as well. This was a good opener.
Well, fun fact. I wouldn't say it's like a fun fact, but interesting enough, this song was released as a single.
Oh, really?
This was the
Okay.
lead-off single to the album,
Mm.
so I could definitely see Jim Croce also thinking highly of this song. Uh, and It went to 37 in the U.S. It went to USAC. It went to number 8. Canada went to 41. Um, didn't chart in Australia. Didn't chart in Germany. It was I don't even think it was. Looking at Wikipedia, it wasn't even released as a single in the UK. So maybe the UK folk didn't really care for this song. But anyways, having that said, I think it's like a nice pleasant song. After uh, it's just you come to expect a nice pleasant sounding album, and this like a really great like opening song. Nothing after the first album, but yeah, this is a really great opener. We open that up with Roller Derby Queen. What do we think about this one?
It's actually my least favorite song on the album, and this is such interesting the way this album is sequenced. It basically feels like it's like this nice ballad type song or nice, lovely song, beautiful song, and then he follows everyone up with a bluesy, more upbeat song. And I don't know if I said this last time, but man, I way prefer the more ballad type love songs or heartbreaking songs that he does. I'm not a big fan of the more upbeat bluesy songs like this one. I just don't care for the style personally, and I don't know. It wasn't for me.
I'm gonna be the exact opposite. I thought this was fun. I thought there was a lot of humor in this song. How Jim is kind of singing, the roller derby queen or whatever. She's kind of like the tomboy character, and he says like, you wouldn't think of her as the kind of girl you'd like, but like he likes her for whatever reason. I think it's because he likes her because she's tough. So there's some humor in the lyrics. I will say though, this song does share a lot of characteristics with the song "You Don't Mess Around with Jim," so it is eerily similar to that song. But
Mm.
I mean, that's a good song, so I'm not complaining. We're getting more of "You Don't Mess Around with Jim," but just saying there are some similarities. And then there's another song on this album that has a lot more similarities to another song on the first album. But we'll get to that one later.
I think this song is okay. I wouldn't say it's like the worst song on the album, but it's definitely not one of my favorites either. It's decent. I get the comparison to "Don't Mess Around with Jim." I feel like this would have been. I feel like this. I don't know. I don't feel like this works as a follow up to the last song. And I do agree. The sequencing of this album is a little weird. Um, there is one song I feel like what should have been the opener of the album, but we'll get there. But it's decent. It's nothing bad, but I wouldn't say it's one of the best either. We follow that up with "Dreaming Again."
Man, this song is so beautiful. The guitar playing on this one. I think it's probably some of the best lyrics he has on the whole album. I absolutely love this song. It's one of those songs, man. It's up there with some of his best stuff, I think. Um, it's a really heartbreaking song, and I don't know, some reason I kind of love it for that. Listening to it, kind of just singing about, he had a dream about this girl being with him, and then he realizes no, he's dreaming again. It's so wonderfully written, I think, and kind of makes me think of my own life and the relationships I've been in and the way I felt that way. So it kind of hits me where I'm like, yeah, I totally feel this song. It totally hits me in the right place anyway. So yeah, love it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This one is another highlight on the album. More great guitar playing, great singing here, and the storytelling is amazing on this one as well. Kind of talking about this romantic relationship and realizing it's not really real. It's only like it's just every time he goes to sleep, he's dreaming about it, and then when he wakes up, he's disappointed to find out it didn't really happen. So, and that's like heartbreaking in all the right ways. I guess is the best way to describe this song.
This is a really good song. This is a huge highlight for me on this album. This definitely made my top five. You know what? This sounds very much like John Denver.
Hmm.
Like I know they both kind of had like the same like genre, but
More countryish, you think?
yeah, like it sounds just
Yeah,
like something
yeah,
John Denver would
yeah.
write and sing. Like when I first heard this, I'm like, is this like a John Denver cover? Because I thought this is something that John Denver would sing and write about. But I love this song. Great melodies. I love his voice on this. Um, Huge highlight on the sound for me, especially after the last song. Um, we follow that up with "Careful Man." What do you think about "Careful Man"?
This song, it was just okay. Again, it's a little too upbeat bluesy style that I'm not as big a fan of. So I like it better than Roller Derby Queen, but it's still kind of towards the bottom of my list.
Careful Man is pretty good. I like this one. I like it when he does these bluesier songs. I think it's fun.
Mhm.
I will say though, if you listen very carefully, the chord progression is the same as Hard Time Losing Man from the last album. It's just slowed down a lot.
Really?
Different melody, but the chord progression is the exact
Yeah.
same as Hard Time Losing Man. And so I was listening to it and I was kind of singing Hard Time Losing Man in my head because I caught on to that.
Again, this is one of my least favorites on the album. I It's like I'm with Jason. I'm not big into the bluesy stuff. I like the more singer songwriter stuff that he
Yeah.
puts out. I don't see him more of like a bluesy guy. I see more of him like a singer songwriter, country, a little country
Yeah.
stuff in it too. But it's not bad. Again, like I'll listen to it, but it's not like something I'm like, yeah, this is like essential Jim Croce. But again, it's okay. We follow that up with Alabama Rain. What do you think about that song?
Yeah, this is the song I think to me kind of seems like a John Denver style song. I can see this being like a John Denver song as well. Um, this has such a great melody. I think has one of the maybe the best melody in the whole album. Just like I absolutely love the way he writes the song, the verses into the chorus, very catchy. And again, the guitar playing is just so fantastic. And I just love how he ends, and he kind of reminisces. It's kind of like he's with the girl reminiscing about maybe the past or something. And he ends it with, "Remember, we were, in the Alabama rain." Yeah, it's fantastic. One of his best.
This was another one of the big highlights here for me. I really enjoyed the melody and the lyrics and the guitar playing, as a matter of fact, as well. This one kind of gave me some James Taylor vibes listening to it in the best way possible.
I'm with you guys. This song is a huge highlight on the album for me. It's beautiful. This is kind of like I'd say this is like the New York's Not My Home like song of the album where it's beautiful. It gets my attention. Definitely, definitely one of my favorite songs on this album. I'd say this is like one of my favorite Jim Croce songs. Period. It's really that good. I really love this song. Um, it's gonna be tough making this top 10, even though he only has 3 albums. It's gonna be tough deciding 10
Yeah.
songs from these 3 albums because he has like I don't just trying to think of how much songs he has from the 3 albums.
Right. Yeah. Not
There's
a
11
lot.
on the album. There's 12 on the first album, so that's 23 right there, and I believe there's 12 on the no 11 on that one. So
34.
yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. So of the 30ish songs in this discography, I have to pick 10.
Okay.
You're probably thinking that's gonna be easy. No, it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. This album and the first album have like the best songs that I just it's gonna be hard, but yeah, this one is up there. This is like a runner up for my top 10 Jim Croce songs. Well, we follow that up with the last song on side one, which is "A Good Time Man Like Me Ain't Getting No Sunshine." Parentheses singing the blues.
Yeah, this is again. It goes. It's the same sequence. Beautiful ballad type, and then this upbeat kind of. I think it was okay. Again, it's like not my favorite style for Jim Croce. I don't know, but I guess he's changing it up, so it's not the same. I guess every song's not a ballad. Maybe he doesn't want to have all ballads, but yet that's the best stuff on the album for me. Um, and his upbeat stuff I know are kind of more fun, more the fun songs. But again, I wasn't like huge on it. It wasn't terrible, but I was like, yeah, it's definitely towards the bottom of my list.
Yeah, I'm actually with you on this one. I've liked all the bluesy stuff he's done here, but
Okay.
it's not none of the songs on this album are bad. Everything on here is good, but some songs are more good than others. If we're gonna be honest,
Yeah.
and this is one of the less good songs. So it wasn't as good as the other stuff, but like it's not gonna be oh I want to skip this song kind of a thing. It's just kind of enjoyable while it's there, but then when I'm thinking of all the fantastic songs on this album, this isn't really one I'm gonna be going back to a lot.
Interesting. I think this is one of the best of
Oh,
the
okay.
faster paced songs. This isn't my
Yeah.
favorite of the faster paced songs. We'll get to the big one, but I like this one. I thought this was a nice like way to close out the first side of the album. Um, Gets me to want to flip over to side two, which we're about to get to the big one very soon. But yeah, this is a great song. We flip the record over. We get to next time, this time.
Yeah, another lyrically, just I absolutely love this song. This is one I definitely like listen to all the lyrics and kind of go, oh man, he's such a good writer. I just love the idea behind the songs. He's kind of telling this, he's breaking up with this girl and he's saying, there's no next time. Like maybe almost like maybe he's given her some chances in the past, but obviously it's kind of the girl that's been really bad, treated him really bad, and he's like I'm done with this relationship. There's no next time. This time, it's like he's saying this time I'm not gonna ever see you again or have anything to do with you. And like one of my favorite lyrics on the whole album, I think, is the chorus part. I think maybe of this one where he says, "I'm gonna forget your name and your pretty face." Um, I'm gonna mark this up as a big mistake or something like that. I love that line. It rhymes so well, just flows together so good. And then towards the end, he even says it again, like I'm gonna forget your name and your pretty face, and mark this as a big disgrace. And he even says like you you should be ashamed the way you treat men or something like that. He says to this girl. So it's kind of a diss song with this girl that he's like, take a hike. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Again, I feel it. I've had those relationships. I totally feel that way sometimes. And so again, he's writing from a place where I totally can relate to, I guess. And so I love this song.
Yeah, this is another good one here, right there with Jason. Great singing, great guitar playing, another good melody. This is another one of the good ballads.
I think that's a really nice song. But this album is so full of like amazing songs. This didn't make my top 5 at all, but it's a nice ballad. I mean, it's another great. Again, like Jason's saying, you go back and forth between a ballad, a faster paced song, a ballad, a faster paced song, a ballad.
Yeah.
It like goes back and forth on it. Um, yeah, this is a decent way to open up side two. Well, we get to the big single on the album. This went to number one, pretty much everywhere. That is "Bad Bad Leroy Brown." What do you think about the single?
Yeah, it's obviously this is like the one big hit on the album, and it's obviously like the catchiest song on the album. I mean, it's a song that you sing to when you listen to it. I mean, how can you not? And maybe that's because I've heard this song so many times on the radio growing up, but that bad bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole darn town, badder than a King Kong, something like that, meaner than Junkyard Dog. But what really makes the song, I think, is the piano. And I don't remember if there's much piano on the other songs, but this has a really great bouncy piano to it that really, I think, ties the song in. When I'm listening, going, man, I love that piano playing, that fast piano playing, and I don't know, I can't say much. You guys can maybe talk more about it. It's just so catchy.
This is a fun song. Yeah, there's not a lot of piano on the rest of this album, but this one is kind of piano driven with that bump ba bump ba
Hmm.
bump ba bump ba bump ba bump ba bump ba bump at the beginning. I love the lyrics on this one. I mean, it is kind of similar lyrically to "You Don't Mess Around with Jim," but I like this one
Yeah,
even
that's
better.
what I thought.
It's kind of about this boss who's like the king of the town, and then he gets like beat up by another guy in the end, and he kind of did that before. But this one's going to get the pass because it's too fun and it's too catchy, and I think it's even better than "You Don't Mess Around with Jim," if you ask me. It's funny because with "You Don't Mess Around with Jim" and like Jim, this described as like the big boss, and at the end, just some guy playing pool gets him. This one is funny because Jim gets in trouble because or it's not Jim, Bad Leroy Brown. Bad Leroy Brown gets in trouble because he's being bad and he was flirting with another dude's wife, and then the dude ends up beating him up at the end, which he kind of gets his just desserts there. So funny story about like
Yeah,
the
I love
baddest
the
man
line
in
of
the town
he looks like a jigsaw puzzle with some
with some
pieces
pieces
missing.
missing. I loved that.
Something like that. I thought that was maybe the best line of the whole song.
Yeah, but it's really fun. It's talking about all the stuff that what everyone knows him as in the town, and he's got a custom vehicle, or I forget what kind of car it is. Is it a Cadillac or I forget what he has. He has a
I
custom.
forget. Yeah,
I only heard the album once. I've heard this song a few times on the radio, but I just listened to that. This song is great. It's fun, and of course we already talked about it. But that piano,
Yeah, this is the very first Jim Croce song I've heard, and I love this song. This song is awesome. This should have been the album opener. This has album opener all over it.
at
This would have
least the
been.
yes,
side two
yes.
opener.
Why not? Yeah.
I feel like the first song should have been the opener to side two, and this would have been the perfect album opener.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no
Yeah,
sense. To me. That makes no sense. That's like the one
yeah,
big criticism for me on this album is you have this like deep in the album, you have it buried in the album
yeah.
on side two. It's
Maybe it
weird.
was an unexpected hit. Maybe it wouldn't even
Maybe,
bring too much
Well,
of
this
it.
wasn't the lead off single too, so maybe
maybe
last song, the first song, one let's set of footsteps. That was the lead
that's the
single.
lead. Yeah.
That
Okay.
was the lead single. This wasn't
Okay.
the lead single. So maybe you're right, but in my opinion, this has album opener all over it. Bouncing
Yeah.
piano, the fun, bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole land town, better than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog.
Bum ba bum ba bum.
So 73, Jim Croce is like bad Leroy Brown, and the Queen went, bring back that Leroy Brown.
That's where they got that.
I
That's a
know.
reference to Jim Croce.
I remember listening to that Queen song. I'm like, are they referencing the Leroy Brown? I think they're
Leeway
referencing
Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring Back. It kind of has
Bring
like
back.
a bouncy
Bring
feeling to
back.
that song. Bring back that Leroy Brown. We want Leroy for president. It's funny, but great song, both great songs. We get to the next song on the album, These Dreams.
Yeah. Another just beautiful. Again, I love all the ballads on here. So it's another beautiful ballad on here. It's funny we have Dreaming Again and then These Dreams. So two songs with dreams in them. I think what makes this different is the cello that comes in is really beautiful. I do love maybe some violins too, but I just remember the cello coming in, and I thought that was such a nice touch to the song. But besides that, not much more I can say except it's another really great ballad on the album.
This is a good song, but here's the thing about this song. It seriously gives me Time in a Bottle Part 2 vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
The guitar riff has that chromatic descending thing where one of them is doing the finger picking and the other one's doing the chords. And then the chorus goes to the parallel major key, which is the exact same thing Time in the Bottle does. So, like, I don't know if he did that on purpose, if he
Yeah.
was just trying to do something like Time in a Bottle and he came
Mhm.
up with this, but like it uses the exact same formula as Time in a Bottle.
The thing about it too is like you could say like, oh, that was a big song for him. Of course he's gonna do it. This wasn't
Yeah.
a big song for him initially. Time in the Bottle, so it's not like he's trying to capture lightning in a bottle to get famous. So I mean, I know Time in the Bottle was released as a single. I am aware of that, but that didn't. And now I believe. Again, I heard that song initially went nowhere. So it's not like he's like, let's repeat the song that went nowhere and hope it goes somewhere, because this song wasn't released as a single. So I just think it's a weird coincidence.
He probably just sounds like himself.
Yeah, I think it's a weird coincidence.
style.
I agree with you. This does sound like Time in a Bottle. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I don't think he did on purpose. Some artists do that, like Lou Bega. He definitely did. He definitely did it on purpose.
He
Like,
did Mambo
did.
number 5, 6,
Yeah.
and 7.
So he did that on purpose, but I don't think Jim Croce was doing this on purpose. I think it was just, sometimes an idea is so good you end up thinking of it again, unintentionally. In my opinion, I could be blowing smoke and like, Jim Croce was thinking like, hey, let's make another Time in the Bottle for this album. That's also deep in the album, Time in a Bottle. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but for me, I'm thinking like sometimes you're so proud of your idea, you unintentionally redo it. So all that stuff said, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. I know it's gonna be cliche because it sounds like the last song on the like big song on the album, Time in a Bottle, but you make a really good sounding song and you make it again, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna like it, especially if I feel like it's not intentional. Like this isn't like Time in a Bottle like in a bad way. Like I got a girl for Lou Bega where he is literally just copying, pasting the same song. This is like Time in the Bottle, but different in a way. It's different, but not too different. You still get that same feeling, but not like but yeah. I really like this song. I know some people are gonna be like, that's how can you like that song? It's literally just Time in a Bottle 2.0. It's nice sounding. I don't know what to say. Well, next song of the album, I'm very curious what you guys have to say about this one. Speedball Tucker.
Yeah, again, it's an upbeat, faster song about a trucker. I think he's because he mentioned something about a trucker and like he's like a speedball. He's maybe speeding or something. Again, I'm not a big fan of this style of song of his. It wasn't definitely towards the bottom of my list again. I would say there's like 4 songs I wasn't a big fan of, and this is one of them.
I actually kind of like this one. I thought it was funny, especially that he worked in Mother Trucker into the lyrics.
I know. How did he
That
do that?
Speedball
Mother
Trucker, all them mother truckers say he's a
Those
mad.
mother
That boy is
truckers.
mad. I don't know how he did that, but he managed to work that in without it sounding too cheesy.
Yeah.
But it's a fun song.
This is my least favorite song on the album. This is too. I mean, I gotta revisit the first album, but right now this might be my least favorite of his 34 songs I've heard.
Of all time.
But having that said, it's not bad for his weakest song. So
yeah.
he did something right. Yeah, it's okay. That's all I gotta say. Well, we get to the last song on the album and the last single off the album. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, and a great closer to the album, I think. Another really beautifully written song. Again, kind of a heartbreaking song, if I remember right. Uh, Something like it doesn't have to be that way. Like something about this should have never ended or something like that, or ended. I don't know. I know it's something about the relationship. Like he's talking about this relationship with this girl, and like talking about, man, it never should have ended or something like that. So he's sad over this breakup, maybe of this girl. And I thought it was, yeah, again, as always, great guitar playing, really well written song. Yeah, it's another really great song on the album.
I didn't like this one as much. I mean, it's not bad, but we said this was one of the singles. This is one of the songs that I don't really remember a
Mm.
whole lot of. Maybe it's just because I've only heard this album once. Maybe I'll revisit it and be like, man, what was I thinking? That was my favorite song on the album now. And I can see why they picked that as a single. For now, it was just okay, and I thought it was kind of a odd way to end the album off.
I thought this was a really nice song to end the album. I will say this isn't my top five. This isn't top five worthy. Um, in my opinion, they should have had These Dreams and Alabama Rain. I feel like one of those two should have been a
Mhm.
sequel instead. In my opinion, this one's
Yeah,
decent. It's
it's still
it's
good.
good, but it's not my top five though. All right, what's gonna be our top five?
All right, number five, I'm gonna go with "It Doesn't Have to Be That Way." Number four, I'm gonna go with "Bad Bad Leroy Brown." Number three, "Alabama Rain." Number two, "Next Time This Time," and number one was "Dreaming Again."
Number 5, I'm going to go with Roller Derby Queen. Number 4, I'm going to go with Dreaming Again. Number 3, One Less Set of Footsteps. Number 2, Alabama Rain. And number 1, Bad Bad Leroy Brown.
All right, my number five, One Less Set of Footsteps. Number four, I'm gonna go with These Dreams. That's a really nice song. Number three, I'm gonna go with Dreaming Again. Number two, Bad Bad Leroy Brown, and my favorite song on the album, Alabama Rain.
Awesome,
That's
that's
a good
great.
one.
Love that song. That
All
again,
three
that,
songs are great. I mean,
that song could be literally in my top 10, might even be my top five. That's how and it's a deep cut too. I'm like, how is this not a single? This has
I
Jim
know. Yeah,
Sounds a whole lot like more like a single than the last song on this album.
And my favorite song
yeah,
on the last album, New York's Not My Home, that's what it reminds me on this album. It gives me that New York's Not My
yeah.
Home vibe, like just beautiful, amazing. Like
Mhm.
if I'm Jim Croce, this is a single in my opinion. Like maybe not a lead single. I think Bad Bad Leroy Brown is a lead. I feel like that's more of a lead off single. Like get
Yeah,
the energy, that
yeah.
gotta get your fans' attention with like, hey, this is on his next album, like Life and Times. But anyways, what's gonna be our score?
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I think it's still an excellent album. There's 7 songs on here that I just absolutely love, like that my top five. And then I didn't say one less set of footsteps, and These Dreams just barely missed my top five. And I really like both of those songs too. That's how good this album is. It was hard to put a top five together. And yeah, those like that. Yeah, like I said, Alabama Rain should have been a big hit. Dreaming Again should have been a big hit. I really like Next Time This Time. Anyways, but it's interesting because this is only like one huge hit on this album, but all these other songs to me are still some of his best stuff. I say best stuff. I mean, like you said, there's 20 or more just great songs on all three of these albums. Probably he only has 34 songs, and more than half of them I think are great. So his percentage of great songs per album, I mean, it's just fantastic. Uh, Only unfortunately, he only has 3 albums out. So yeah, this is if you like singer songwriter albums, this is still a really great album, in my opinion.
Yeah, this album's going on the Discogs list of albums I need to buy. Uh, it's good. There are albums that I think that I like better than this. Like it goes in the good but not amazing category, so I'm gonna give it like an 8.5.
Mhm.
All right. Um, for me, can you give me your score again, Jason?
9.
Okay, I'm also gonna give it a 9. Actually, you know what? I'll give it a 9.5 because I want to give this a 10, but I'm not a fan of the sequencing of this album. Like having Bad Leroy Brown like deep in the album is one thing, and two, having it not be the lead off song on the album is a big red flag. Two, Speedball Tucker kind of brings the album down a tiny bit, but other than that, my top 5 is amazing. So for the most part, I say there's a pretty good album. I really, really like this album. I think it's underrated. I think the first album is still better. I still think that's a 10 out of 10 album for me, the first album. So
Yeah, me
going down,
too.
you're going from 10 out of 10 to 9.5. So again, you get a little, I might say worse, but he's not doing as good as the last album. And I hate to say it, but the next album's gonna be the same way. Just we'll see how we feel about the next album. But speaking of the next album, the next and last album is I Got a Name.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a pretty good review. What I plan on doing is we'll do like a whole. That'll be like one. It's gonna be a pretty long video because we're gonna do the review. I want to do the top 10 songs and do the 3 album ranking at the end.
Okay.
There's no reason to make 3 separate videos. Well, 2 separate videos: the top 10 and the album ranking. It's literally just 10 songs and 3 albums.
We did it on the Rolling Stones, and they have a billion albums, so we can do it with the 3 Jim Croce albums.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, for sure.
anyways, guys, have any final thoughts and feelings before I close out?
It's great going back to Jim Croce and revisiting these albums. I just absolutely love Jim Croce. Like I said, that first album is in my top 25 favorite albums of all time. I just love it.
Good stuff. Excited to get to review the last one.
I'm excited to review the last one too and get this series done. I mean, I don't know the time between this album review and the last album review, but for such a short discography, it took us so long to get to this album. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long.